Hi, my name is Manuel. I'm French, and I'm going to try a new format for my video channel, which will remain dedicated to old computers and mathematical objects I find interesting. I've read the figures after my two preceding videos on first the sword computers and then the TI-74 calculator, and the breakdown is pretty clear. French are happy and foreigners are not, basically. So I'm trying today a quickie, which won't last long, and it's a test for me to see if viewers prefer to hear me mangle badly English while presenting you some computing device, or if I should stick to speaking French and limit my audience to a few numbers of people who would be interested either way. So today in this quickie format I have two devices to show you, and they are almost identical. I'm a bit too young to have used them professionally, but they were made just before my time, say, and these are French slide rules. One is a late 50s engineering ruler. Sorry, I'm showing you this. So it's an interesting device on many accounts, mainly because well, it's a slide rule and it's not in wide usage today, so many people haven't even seen one. This particular one uses a French system which is uncommon to North Americans and UK viewers, so it might be of interest to see the differences. And secondly, I wish to show you this slide rule, which is, well, which was fairly common, but even more interesting because most of the time on YouTube you see engineering devices, and this one is especially, it's made for accountancy and business. It's a business slide rule, so the system and the graduation are tailored to calculate loans, interests, and such. So it's I think in the general scheme of my channel it's more interesting because I intend to showcase computers and computing devices that were used in business and not in engineering. We already are on YouTube. There is no problem to find anything about engineering of the past, but sadly everything about accountancy and business is left behind, although it was a driving force behind the evolution of computing and mechanized and then electronical computing. So today let's see really quickly how those rulers were used, and I try to make a very quick and update this video as soon as possible. So, slide rules. What was in the box? This is a late model, probably late 60s of the business slide rule. So by then the protective sleeve was plastic, very sturdy one. It was a precision instrument, and it was very well made and very well protected. It came so in the box with sliding I don't know the word in English, you'll excuse me. Sliding index, which is a vertical line and on a piece of glass to read the graduations. It came with a strip of paper with the most usual constants and mathematical values. And it came with a very nice, actually, folded user's manual covering principles of operation, graduations, scales, how to interpolate between figures, and the most common type of operations. What's the basics of slide rule calculation is a mathematical function, and it's a log function. What is a log function? It's a mathematical function which links additions and multiplication. So when you wish to multiply a quantity by another, you just add two distances on the ruler and you read back the value. So how do you do that? You bring the 1 on the C scale over the first number you wish to multiply, for instance, say 3. So you bring it on 3, and if you want to multiply by 3, you just slide the index over the 3 on the C scale and you read 9. That's the basic. Now you may ask, what if I want to multiply by something over 3? Say for instance something that's off scale, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 or 10. Well, you just slide back, and instead of aligning 1, you align 10. So for instance, if you wish to multiply 3 by 5, you go all the way back and you align with the 5, and you are on 1.5, but as you have aligned 10, you just multiply by 10 and it's 15, and that's correct. But it shows immediately the limit of calculating with a slide rule, because you in fact can only work on mantissa, and you have to keep track in your head of the exponent in base 10. So what we did in fact was to multiply by 10 10 exponent minus 1, and then we had to adjust to find the definitive result. So that's the basic of the multiplication, and most everything is done about the same way. You have an inverted rule, the CI, which is used for division because it's an inverted rule. It's graduated in reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and you see that the scales are log scales, because between 1 and 2 you have this gap, between 2 and 3 you have this gap, and it's smaller and smaller the closer you get to the end of the graduation. So those are the basics operation you do. What makes this ruler special is the business end of it. So of course where this slide rule shines is obviously in the business practice. So just to make a quick focus on these functions, they are mostly grouped on the top two scales labeled DF and CF here, so it's probably a French nomenclature. I don't know if it's even a word in English, but it works unlike most of other rules which are numbered with either 1 at the left or 1 at the right and going all the scale down or up, those special rules have the one spot in the middle, and they have a plus and minus part on the right side and the left side. And for instance, they use it's very easy to use. Say you want you have a price, for instance, I don't know, 75 euros, just put it that way. You then you bring 75 right, it's stiff, hasn't been used in a long time. So you bring 75 under the 0, and you want to apply, for instance, VAT. So in France it's 20%, so you slide your index to 20, which is here. And you've got, it was 75, so you've got now, sorry, you've got 90 euros, and it's straight reading. And for instance, if you want to increase your price by a certain percent or decrease it by a certain percent, it's just a case of moving this piece. For instance, you want to apply a reduction of 5% to your price, so you're still at 75 euro of price, and you want to remove 5%, so you slide your index to the minus 5%, and you read 71 and a bit, 70, I don't know, I should do a calculation, 71.1, it's too small to read. With practice you can get a much better efficiency and precision. So slide rules are very good at giving you an approximate value for the Mantis of a calculation. You absolutely must remember by yourself the orders of magnitude. If you don't know in which order of magnitude you are calculating, you will make an absolute mess with this thing. But as it is, it was fine. And on the back side, you had a cheat sheet of usual calculations. So you had calculation on prices, you had simple interest on loans and compound interest. You could switch from the decimal French system to the Anglo-Saxon British system before decimalization. And you could even calculate in pounds, shilling and pence the way the British currency was computed before 1971, I guess. So that's about it. I said a quickie, so I will remain quick and true to my word for once. Just a quick show of the engineering rule, which wasn't very different. So yes, the sad part of this is, in fact, I had this rule for a long time because it was my father's, but he had lost the index long before I was born, probably. And so I could never use it before, and although I was interested. And so I had the chance to find this ruler quite recently on a car boot sale, and it had the APs, which is the same between rulers. There were specialized ones, but this one is the most common. And so I bought this ruler in part for the APs, so I could use this one. But this gives me the opportunity to show you a French ruler. This one has seen much more use, and it's much more lax. So it's interesting because we French have a way to name the scales, which is L, B cube, B squared, small caps B squared, A, B, caps B, L, LL3, LL2, LL1. And this ruler is interesting because it's a dual system rule, and you have the corresponding Anglo-Saxon scales labels on the far right. So you have the usual L, K, A, B, CL, C, D. You have the usual cheat sheet on the back side. With various calculation for electricity and electronics and many other domains. And you also have the trigonometry on the back side of this rule. You can use it directly with a small index here, or you can simply pull out and reverse the scale to use cos and other scale. I'm not going to make a fool of myself and demonstrate it much further. It's the same principle. It's all based on the log function, and so it converts between addition of distance and multiplication of values. So really there's not much more to it. And so on a final note, I will this reminded me of a joke which is what is the sound of an engineer drowning, and the sound is log 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 log. And on this word I tell you goodbye and see you next time.